So, dear students, today Administrative Reforms Commission. I am the A. Tirupati, Associate Professor, Indira Priyadarshini Mahila Degree College. Today we have to discuss about the Reforms Commission in India. So, after the independence, the government of India was given more reforms in India. The reforms are very important for the development of administration. Because of the reforms are very important. First SRC, second SRC are both are very important for the administrative reforms committee in the central government and state governments and local self governments. The Administrative Reforms Commission ARC is the committee appointed by the government of India for giving recommendations for reviewing the public administration system of India. The first ARC was established on 5th January 1966. The Administrative Reforms Commission was initially chaired by Morarji Desai and later on K. Hanmantaya became its chairman when Desai became the Deputy Prime Minister of India. The second Administrative Reforms Commission ARC was constituted on 31st August 2005 as a commission of inquiry under the chairmanship of Veerappa Moily for preparing a detailed blueprint for revamping the public administrative system. The first ARC was constituted by the Minister of Home Affairs under the Government of India by resolution number 40/3/65 ARP dated 5 January 1966. In the resolution, the composition of the ARC, the mandate of this commission and the procedures to be followed were described. Mandate edit. The commission was mandated to give consideration to the need for ensuring the highest standards of efficiency and integrity in the public services and for making public administration a fit instrument for carrying out the social and economic policies of the government and achieving social and economic goals of development. Also, one which is responsive to the people. In particular, the commission is to consider the following. The machinery of the government of India and its procedure of work, the machinery for planning at all levels, center-state relationships, financial administration, personal administration, economic administration, administrated at the state level, district administration, agriculture administration, and problems of redress of citizens' grievances. Exclusion edit. The Commission may exclude from its purview the detailed examination of administration of defense, railways, external affairs, security and intelligence work, as also subjects such as educational administration already being examined by a separate commission. The commission will, however, be free to take the problems of these sectors into account in recommending recognition of the machinery of the government as a whole or of any of its common services agencies. Recommendations reports. The Commission submitted the following 20 reports before winding of the mid-1970s. Problems of redresses of citizens' grievances, interim for planning, public sector, undertaking, finance, accounts and audit machinery for planning, economics administration, the machinery of goal and its procedures work life insurance administration, central direct taxes administration, administration of UTs and NEFA, personal administration, delegations of financial and administrative powers, central state relationship, state administration, small scale sector, railways, treasuries, Reserve Bank of India, post and telegraphs, scientific departments. Above 20 reports contained 537 major recommendations based on inputs received from various administrative ministers. A report indicating implementation position was placed before the Parliament in November 1777. Right to information, master key to good governance in 9/6/2006, unlocking women capital entitlements and governance, a case study 31/7/2006, crisis management from despair to hope 31/10/2006, ethics in governance 12/7/2007, public law and order, justice for each, fees for all 2007. The second ARC was set off with a resolution number K 2004 RC of the Government of India as a committee of inquiry to prepare a detailed blueprint for revamping the public administration system. For composition of the second ARC edit, Veerappa Moily, chairperson, V. Ramachandran, member, Dr. A.P. Mukherjee, member, Dr. A.H. Kolro, member, Jayaprakash Narayana, member, Vinita Rai, member, secretary. Veerappa Moily resigned with effect from 1st April 2009. V. Ramachandran was appointed chairman. Jayaprakash Narayana resigned with effect from 1 September 2007. The commission was given a mandate to suggest measures to achieve a proactive, responsive, accountable, sustainable and efficient administration for the country at all levels of the government. The commission was asked to consider the following: organizational structure of the Government of India, ethics in governance, refurbishing a personal administration, strengthening a financial management system, steps to ensure effective administration at the state level, steps to ensure effective district administration, local self-government, Panchayat Raj institutions, social capital, trust and participative public services delivery, citizen-centric administration, promoting e-governance, issue of federal polity, crisis management, public order. The commission was to exclude from its purview the detailed examination of administration of ministry, defense, railway, external affairs, security and intelligence, as also subjected such as central state relations, the judicial reforms which are already they are to given the administrative activities in the government, meaning administrative reforms, women behavior, outlook, attitude and many others are constantly changing, and the impact of the changes falls upon society in general and upon administration in a particular. The public administration must make sincere and serious effort to meet the new demands which are resultant of changes in outlook and behavior. Viewed from the perspective, the public administration can never remain stick in other word of administrative system. So this is the committee will recommended of the administrative reforms like the style of the public administration. So there is a difference of the information are given by the second recommendation report of the commission has presented the following 15th reports to the a commission for consideration. Right information master key to good governance, unlocking women capital entitlement and governance, a case study, crisis management from despair to hope, ethics in governance, public law and order, justice for each, peace for all, local governance, capacity building for peace resolution, friction to fission, combating terrorism, social capital, a shared destiny, republishing of the personal administration, calling new heights, permitting e-governance, the smart way forwarded, citizen centric administration, the heart of governance, organizational structure of the government of India, strengthening financial management systems, state and district administration, implementation of the recommendations, added to the government constituted a group of ministers on 30 March 2007 under the chairmanship of then the External Affairs Minister to consider the recommendations of the second ARC and the review the piece of implementation of the recommendations as well as to provide guidance to the concerned ministers departments in implementation. It has since been reconstituted under the chairmanship of Union Finance Minister on 21st August 2009. Core group on administrative reforms under the chairmanship of Cabinet Secretary as finished examination of all the 15th reports. This group of ministers has so far considered 15 reports. Right to information minister, key to good governance, first report, unlocking women capital entitlements and governance, a case study relating to NREGA, second report, crisis management from despair to hope, third report, ethics in governance, fourth report, public order, fifth report, local governance, sixth report, capacity building of conflicting resolutions, seventh report, combating terrorism, protecting by righteousness, eighth report, social capital, a shared destiny, ninth report, republishing of a personal administration, scaling new heights, 10th report, promoting e-governance the smart way forwarded, 11th report, citizen-centric administration, the heart of governance, 12th report, organization structure of government of India, 13th report, strengthening financial management system, 14th report, state and district administration, 15th report, decision of GOMM. On these reports are at various stages of implementation. The report on combating terrorism, 8 reports has been handled by the Minister of Home Affairs, and it is understood that necessary action has already been taken on this report. Thus, in all 12 reports have been considered so far. Remaining three reports, report number 5th and 10th and 14th, are also shortly being put of the consideration of GOM. The cabinet in its meeting held on 3rd December 2009 had taken note of the progress of action taken in respect of a second report unlocking human capital relating to NREGA, and in its meeting held on 29 December 2009 has taken note of the progress of action taken in respect of the first report right to information and third report crisis management. Crisis management, meaning of administrative reforms, human behavioral outlook, attitude, and many others are constantly changing, and the impact of the changes falls upon society in general and upon administration in particular. The public administration must make a sincere and serious effort to meet the new demands which are resultant of changes in outlook and behavior. View from this perspective, the public administration can never remain static. In other words, the administrative system should be reformed so that it as can meet the new demands of society. Here raises the necessity of a reforming administration. Let us define reforms. It means to make changes, especially on an institution or practice, in order to remove it. This is the general meaning of reforms, but reforming administration as a separate cannot take connotation. The administrative system of state can never be important or be applicable to all cases. Administrative reforms is defined by general guidance as the artificial endorsement of administrative transformation against resistance. Coiden as a further clarified the term reforms. Reforms is different from recognition or changes, but reorganization is not ruled out. Reform, according to Harvey Mansfield, any organization contemplates changes of some sort in an ongoing activity, and with it ordinary some transfer of control to secure a desired changes. It may be enough to issue an order or to make a persuasive suggestions to display a carrot or stick to the people already in place. Reorganization presumes that these remedies may accompany or follow, but are not available or will not suffice, suffice to start the process of change. Instead, it decrees a change in organization, structure, or jurisdiction as a beginning, and counts on this. A recent critic says that there is difference between changes and reforms. All reforms are changes, but all changes cannot be considered as reforms. Changes are linked with fixed similes, alternation, and very often sporadic. The surprise of changes is not to bring about a large scale or the radical alternations. Changes always do not have specific and positive purposes. Sometimes changes are introduced artfully. The changes may be react reactionary. On the other hand, reforms aim at wide and sometimes radical changes in any system. Reforms are always normative and are introduced with a specific purpose in mind. The reforms movement in Europe was launched with certain specific purposes, and these were to reform the outdated concepts and dogmas of Christianity. So reforms sometimes assumed the character of movement, but the administrative reforms does not fall in this category of movement. It may already be noted that reforms are normative in nature. They are introduced for the attainment of a specific purpose. It is generally said that the idea of introducing reforms arises only when the prevailing system appears to be unworkable for fails to meet the basic demands of society. The administrative reforms falls in this society. The of administrative uh, purpose of administration is to meet the demands of people and execute the policies taken by the government. But when it is felt that the prevailing system of public administration fails to reach the target and to meet the demands of people, then only the question of reforming administration arises. The in other words, the arising the questions by the people of the citizen of India, reforms becomes inevitable. The organization of administration reforms cabinet in is a dynamics of public administration has said that the reforms public administration can be dated to the second half of the 19th century, and in support of his contention he has advised the following reasons in his opinion and in the opinions of large number of public administration. USA was the pioneer. USA was the pioneer in the field field of administration reforms. American capitalism started its progress from the middle of the 19th century, and the result in the large amount of investment in various fields. But it was found that public investment and private investment in the field of economy, the development the development must be accompanied by rapid and proper changes in the field of a public administration. But the public services and public administration larged behind the growth of both private and public investments, and a necessary for reforming the public administration was felt. The main the, the main the main be regarded as the beginning of public administration. The capitalists and industrials management, though, that without proper public administration investment proposals and public investment will never be successful. In other words, civil servants of high efficiency must be employed for the successful investment for the purpose of the public administration. There was another dark side of public administration in USA. What is generally called bureaucratic ethics was separately absent in the administrative system. But it was felt that without morality and ethics, the public administration can never achieve the goals for which it was ordinate. The letter is quote few lines from Kaiden's book. Public morality left much to be desired, and frequent scandals and disasters hardly remove the public image of officials. Sometimes had the movement of reforms administered. The reforms was felt primarily for the two reasons. One is the public administration must create a congenial atmosphere for the investment. Other reasons was that as far as participatable, the public administration must be efficient and morally administration in the political science quarterly. Many scholars on public administration threat this article of Woodrow Wilson in 1887 as the beginning of the reforms of public administration. In his time, the public administration was a branch of a part of political science, and Wilson claimed the separate existence of public administration as a discipline. Towards the end of the 19th century, it was enthusiastically advocated that the public administration has a special and very important role, and not simply for the maintenance of day-to-day administration, but for better administration and development of society. And if this goal is to be achieved, the subject must be studied seriously, and certain reforms are to be introduced so that it can meet the reforms demands of a changing society. The reforms movement gathering momentum, and numerous scholars demanded that the movement for reforms public administration should be strengthened, but for that purpose huge amount of funds is required. All this happened towards the end of the 19th century. We call the administrative reforms as a special type of movement because various important aspects of public administration were the consequences of the movement. We have already noted that America was the pioneer in the reforms of administration, but UK can also claim certain amount of contribution in the field. The contribution of American is, however, far greater than that the Britain. The American business community liberally donated uses some for the research of administrative and management systems. The chief purpose of the administrative reforms was to establish an efficient, honest, and morally irreproachable our bureaucracy. Before the end of the 19th century, several bold steps were taken to that end. In the field of administration reforms, government reforms Goodnow as a special place is regarded by many as the father of American public administration. He made few proposals or suggestions which were designed to reform administration. Goodnow suggested that special research institutes should be established for the continuous and effective research in public administration. He said that young and energetic graduates should come to do the research. The bureaucracy, the public administration should be made fully suitable for changing society, and to achieve this goal, extensive research work should be started and continue. Bureaucracy is the root cause of many evils, and for that reasons, it how to be controlled. It is impossible to control it by ways of direct to democracy. Naturally, the only way of controlling bureaucracy is by way of reforming public administration. Reforms based on the ideology, there is a close relation between administrative reforms and ideology. At least many public administrators believe so. At first, we shall briefly analyze what is the ideology. According to one critic on ideology is a value or belief system that is accepted as fact or truth by some group in a ideology. In a ideology, that is the many public many public administrators believe reforms based on the ideology. There is a close relation between administrative reforms and ideology. At least many public administrators believe, or at first we shall briefly analysis what is ideology. According to one critic, ideology is the value or value the public administration. This is the ideological some groups in the ideological principles and administrative activities are through the application of an ideology. Social movement can be started. The reform for public administration falls within the category of social movement or the change of social system. The social system can be changed through the reforms or radical changes of the whole administrative system. In what way in what way an ideology helps the administrative reforms? When an administration fails to meet the requirement of the people, a movement is launched to highlight the inability of public administration, and simultaneously movements is launched. The purpose of the movement is to explain the drawbacks or limitations of public administration to the general public. The sponsors of the movement explain their purpose to the people. Common people may not always be aware of the complexities of public administration. Keeping this in mind, the leaders of the reforms movement explain everything to the public, and at the some time place alternative proposals to the public. Strictly speaking, many objective that this is not a critically ideology, but here we independently giving the information about the support of the ideology of the public reforms. It is to be remembered that order to ensure reforms in administrative large scale support of people is necessary. It is because of that fact that there may be some men who opposes reforms. So in order to make administrative reforms successful, a movement is essential. On experience it is has been found as power of the administration. So in this field, emotion has something to do. It has been maintained by the uh, critique that ideology promotes soldiers, as is the case with Marxism and Leninism. Solar myth of the generate the strict myth of the general strike is a classic example. Ideology provides a sense of orientation when one is lacking it. Mirror a universal picture and a reference a point for individual action as well as social policies. To sum up, ideology always play an important role in the field of political and public administration is an important part of politics. Hence, part of politics. Hence, if any part or organization wishes to have large scale reforms in public administration, it should be its duty to convince the people of the necessity of administrative reforms. Without people's cooperation, reforms will remain a distant hope. Some people says that in the developed nations, ideology does not always play a crucial role in the field of administrative reforms. But in new nations or developing countries, the ideology has been found to play a necessary role in the developing nations. There is a constant presence of industrialization, modernization, and and development the purpose of the administration, the modernization. So part of this pressure falls upon public administration. But since concepts of industrialization and modernization are constantly changing, the public administration adjust will have to adjust with all these changes, and hence the reforms of public administration are essential. New nations generally follow certain norms or principle of ideology. In one way or the other, ideology enters into the fiction. In Marxism and Leninism, their special importance of public administration or management in the development process of society. It has been observed by Varla socialist movement and Leninist concept that women progress through management. It becoming the motto of a numerous scientific symposia, international congresses and conferences. It is with management that administrators and politicians, theoretician and practical workers and specialists in the natural and social sciences link their hope and projects, their plans and forecast and practical activities. Varlamu father writes, the future of every country, if not of our entire planet, depends upon management, upon the objectives of the administrative activities and social content, functions and principles. So is the imminence values of management in both social development and reconstruction. The point that note the is that public administration or management cannot be separate from ideology. At least social thinkers, social thinkers in this line. So if ideology plays an important role in administration, we think reforms will also be guided or influenced by the concept of ideology. It is generally said that the personnel who want to introduce to the introduced to the certain reforms must be influenced or guided by some sort of ideology. The influence of ideology upon administrative reforms is not to utopia. It is absolutely practical. The government and public administrators introduced numerous administrative reforms to face the realities of changes that fell on public administration, it is observed that if science and technological progresses are merged with public administration, that will be produced best produced the best reforms to face that realities of changes that fail on public administration. It is observed that the science and technological progresses are merged with public administration, that will be produced best result, but both science and technology are changing, so public administration will change, and it is through reform. So this is the public administration reforms committee. The main administration activity in incrementalism and administrative reforms. In our earlier analysis of policy making, we have analysis the role of incrementalism. Incrementalism is based on a limited rationality concept. Many people think that reforms in public administration should be introduced step by step. It is said that if all proposals for reforms are adopted, that a time satisfactory result may not be obtained. That is why it has been suggested that it is better to proceed steps by step. A part of the proposals may be executed, and the results will be observed, and the next step will depend upon the result of the first step. Talking about this, a critic makes the following observations. Incrementalism is a subspecies of a comprehensive view. Its argument is based on a limited rationality which is oriented towards direct and concrete experiences, rather a ratio constructions or assumption which claim to be self evident. The incrementalist approach to reforms of administration assert that a man's knowledge and foresightedness are highly limited, and because of this he cannot predict every possible situations in a correct way. For this reason, he will have to proceed cautiously and intelligently so that he can avoid mistakes. Herbert Simon once said that individuals' capacity to collect information and to solve problems is very limited. In this background, he said the central concern of administrative theory is with boundaries between the rational and non-rational aspects of human social behavior. Administrative theory is peculiarly the theory of intended and bounded rationality of the behavior of human beings who satisfied because they do not have the wits to maximize what appears from this is the administrators or administrators are not owners of a unlimited administratorism and not owner of the limited knowledge, wits and capacity. Naturally, they cannot forces the future administration of the administration activities are not owner of the unlimited knowledge, wits and capacity. Naturally, they cannot foresee the future correctly. Charles Boom's name is closely associated with the theory of incrementalism, but he is not the real organizer of the doctrine. Karl Popper initiated an idea known as piecemeal planning for a social and political change. Popper said that the large-sized and Ambitious planning does not always produce desired results, and the best way is to divide it among planning and reforms schemes into small parts, and these are to be executed. If desired results are obtained, the process should be contained thought proper thought that this was the best way. Landblom following Popper built of the fabric of this incrementalism. It is also called modeling through and disjointed. Incrementalism in the is analysis of a decision making. Reforms proposals also fall in the category of a decision making. Lindblom makes a distinction between branch method and root method. Branch method means successive limited comparison. The central idea of root methods is the rational comprehensive. The branch method continuously building out from the current situation step by step and by small decreases. In other words, the branch method is a piecemeal way of making policy. Policy may be regarding management of organization or reforming the public administration. Ambitious program as hardly any place in an organization. Everything starts from a preliminary stage and then move the higher stages slow. The successive limited comparison or branch method doses not wishes to travel in darkness. It capitalizes the past experiences, and after taking lessons from the past, it decides the future courses of action. In a sense, it is a conservation method. Fast guides the future. Rational comprehensive model is another way of making policy regarding reforming public administration. It is also called synoptic problem solving. This model assumes that decision making identifies, scrutinizes, and puts into constant order those objectives and other values that he believes should govern choice of a solution to the problem. This comprehensively survey all possible means of achieving those values. In all these methods, there is a very crucial role of rationality. The policymaker does not jump upon a new decision or project without carefully considering all the probable aspects of the policy. If it is executed, the cautious stepping is the central concept. Let us now briefly analyze the successive limited comparisons. Lindblom suggested the changes should be made incrementally. In his opinion, incrementalism can be explained in the following way. It is a method of social action that takes existing reality as one alternative and compare the possible again and losses of a closely related alternatives by making relatively small adjustments in existing reality or making larger adjustments about those consequences approximately as much as known as about the consequences of existing reality or truth. It has been asserted that incrementalism is a forceful way of reforming public administration. The administrator processed slowly but steadily to achieve his goal. He known that without reforming public administration, it cannot be used as a weapon for the attainment of a people's demands. In this age of globalization, men's demands are changing and increasing. The public administration must keep note of this. Reasons of reforms, why administrators and academics are so much concerned about the reforms of administrations. It is not difficult to find out the reasons. To put it in other words, in every society there exist certain conditions which demands that the administrative system should be changed. Otherwise, it would not be able to meet the growing and changing requirement of the people. An important reasons are conditions of reforms is there is a clear gap between the existing system and what people or clients want. In other words, the prevailing structure of administrative system is incapable of meeting the demands of a society. Naturally, the public administration must be reformed. It shall be made suitable for the new and demanding situations. There is a second reason which is more weight. The colonial powers of European administrated the colonies of Asia and Africa following their own method and rules, and the chief purpose of a colonial administration was to elongate the colonial rule. There was another purpose, and it was to fulfill the aim of colonialism. After the colonialism achieved political freedom, it was found that the colonial system of administration was not in a position to meet the requirements of the newly independent states. At the same time, the rulers of the new states realized that the old system of public administration could not be jet- jettisoned. The necessary parts of the old colonial public administration can be kept, and something new should be added to the old body to make the whole updated public administration suitable and meaningful. This can be treated as the starting point of administrative reforms. In order to incorporate the importance of ecological factors upon the public administration, it is necessary that the prevailing system of administration should be changing or reformed. Frederick Riggs is the first man who drew our attention to the immense importance of the ecology on public administration. The reforms of public administration must be made in the background of the entire social system, including ecology. Let us quoted few lines from a critic. It should be trusted that I do not suggest that reforms must necessarily be designed within the social content only, as that would be self-defeating. The argument is that reforms considered considered must be necessarily be designed with the social content only, as the would be defeating. The argument is that their reforms must be cognizant of these limitations and try to reform comprehensively. Any reform attempt should keep the entire social and political fabric as its target. The impact of social upon the society is so comprehensively that it cannot be ignored, but the old public administration did not feel it necessary to repurpose the public administration in the background of the entire social system, including ecology. After Riggs succeeds in drawing our attention to the important ecological public administration. It was felt that ecological public have to importance of the ecological in public administration. It was felt that the old structure of public administration should be reformed, otherwise it will be have no relevance at the public administration. The public administration is generally has been built up in the background of the administration activities are the very important of the administration for the implementation of reforms. Reforming public administration is essential because time, outlook, people, society all are changing naturally. Public administrative system will also change. In other words, the public administration of every state is reformed, but the problem is to propose reform and implementing the are quite separate. Again, there are several methods of implementing the cabinet. The noted author public administration think that there are several ways of the existing reforms. The important way of implementing the reforms is the political revolutionary in Russia, China, and in several other countries. Public administration was thoroughly changed or reformed after revolution. The revolutionaries, in order to execute their policies, schemes, and ideas, changed the old administrative system. But complete change or abolition of old administration are not possible or advisable. After coming to power, Lenin kept the bureaucratic system, but he was forced to follow Marx's principles and ideology. However, it is admitted on all ends that revolution is a very important way of reforms. When the old system of public administration proves its incapability to cope with the new situations or changes, the old public administration is reformed. This is a normal procedure and it is adopted everywhere. There is a famous proverb: old order changed, yielding place to new. To put it in other words, various sorts of changes, such as changes in political spheres, changes outlook, changes in behavior, force the authority to change or reform public administration. The administrative reforms cannot or should not be rigid. The rigidity in public administration will create chaos and discontent among the citizen. Criticizers. It should not be allowed to persist. Public administration is reforms through legal ways. There are different legal ways of reforming public administration. Sometimes the legislatures enacts a law for specific purpose. That purpose is served, but that law indirectly aims at changing certain aspect of public administration. Originally, it was not the purpose of law to reform administration, but the execution of law reforms the public administration. Sometimes the decision of judges indirectly reforms the administrations. It is to be remembered here that the judges had no intention to change any part of public administration, but his judgment has done the job indirectly. This very often happens in USA and India. The personal behavior or attitude is a potent cause of the change of public administration. A very powerful person or a man of high imagination comes to power and he wanted to implement the dreams which he nourished in mind, intended to execute them. In this case, the person concerned must be courageous and he must have sufficient to hold over the whole administrative system. The authority is sometimes forced to implement or introduce reforms being pressurized by public or pressured groups or interested groups, particularly in liberal democracies. Various types of groups are quite active and elite want to satisfy their needs. All these reports the authority to reform public administration, the outlook and political philosophy of a party is another cause of reform, and that reform is forthwith implemented in order to keep the election pledges. Now, areas of administrative reforms is a broad term, and naturally its areas is quite wide. The true administrative reforms does not mean uh, piecemeal reforms that take place here and there in the vast body of public administration. Every issue that concerns the government may also comes under the umbrella of administrative reforms. Views from this perspective, we can say that administrative reforms includes the numerous issues. It is because the chief aim of a public administration is to help the state in achieving its goals. Cabinet in its dynamic of a public administration says that the true public administration must consider the following issues as its subjects. It says public administration no longer steps that the housekeeping end of this and other public activities such as for forestry, laboratory administration, gallery administration, archives, and engineering. According to Kaiden, the subject matter of a public administration is very wide, and it is concerned with all sorts of public authorities. If so, whether an attempt is made to reform public administration, all the important subject and areas must come under the purviews of administrative reforms. It has been suggested that whenever attempts are made to reform public administration, the following areas should be included: population growth and control, family planning, public hygienic, sex education, drug control should be the subject of administrative reforms. The term drugs control is a very wide terms. The public administration should this that the sale and distribution of harmful drugs must be banned, intoxicants and something be prohibited. The public administration must keep an eye on space loss and related problems. In any society, there are various forms of public services providers. It is the duty of central public administration to see that the service centers are performing their duties sincerely and properly. If this is not done, the administrative reform must try to put everything in the proper form. The true academic institutions enjoy autonomy, autonomy. They are not outside the purview of a general public administration. The state administrative authority keep an eye over the activities of these institutions. If the functions of educational institutions advisorly affect the public morality, law and order, the public administration must try to take steps against this tendency. If the prevailing system fails to do the needful, the reforms in public administration must be made. Foreign efforts do not remaining outside the general public administration. Centuries ago, there was a practically no existence of a international relations in today's sense, and the public administration had no serious concern about the ongoing of international relations. Today, the situation has changed completely. The state administration must see that the incidents and at international level do not go against the core interests of state. If there is anything wrong, public administration takes steps, and if it is not capable, it must be reformed. Kaiden has suggested the reforms of public administration from this perspective. On important areas of administrative reforms is electoral system. In all democratic countries, elections are held periodically, but electoral system and elections are ruled by certain law and procedures. And it is known to all that these are framed by the general public administration under the guidance of government or the concerned minister. Parliament enacts laws and public administration implements the necessary changes, and amendments are done by the public administration department. Problems of public administration reform: there is a number of administrative activities are there in the government of the problems are very important for to controlling of administrative reforms. There is very important to controlling of the administration. So this is the today's class, dear students. We have to follow uh, the administrative reforms in India.